everybody, the night to the mass, everybody partying. It seems like the whole world is in a big party. I mean, like, what's gonna be going on for the next generation? Every 30 years is a generation. I'm pretty sure you're aware of that. So every 30 years is a generation. For the last 30 years over here, they became more primitive. Yeah, they do. I've been here since for a little while now, and ooh, that was different. I don't even want to get up to, I'll leave that there. It's a mirror. I got it covered with my. I had all the time when you see that thing in my room, in the room, it was covered by a workout mat. It's not. I have a lot of mirrors. It's not all the time I want to see myself that much. So let me explain to you how impactful Antigua is, and how it devastates some people, and it wreak havoc on the souls of others. There's a lot of ignorance embedded in the fabrics of social setting over here and business culture. It's it's complex to really have leverage to really comprehend it all. You need a second brain, actually. Yeah. You probably think I'm crazy, right? I'm not. When I'm around in this world, every human being naturally evaluates shit. Like, so I don't know what other people do, but I'm gonna explain. The objective of this vlog is to explain to you how impactful Antigua is. There was a close family member of ours. We lived in England for years and years and years. And he got married. He has his kids. He has a well. He when he came back from London, he came to our residency with the intent of prepping himself to get himself together, because he's buying like this super big house. It's already built, so it's not like you got to go through a lengthy, long process. Once you have your resources to commit to a transactional act, it would be, it will materialize the actual reality of it happening. It's different than building a house. So he moved. He lived in England for years. Yeah, and he came. He relocated and he remigrated back to the island, and he stayed at our residency. And while he was here, the second day, he looked at me. He said, "How you deal with it?" So I asked him. He would have to rephrase the question for me to get a more precise and accurate reading of what he's trying to bring forward to me, so I get a full comprehension, so I give him a full response. 'Cause I'm a social person, rational thinking. He said, "How you cope with the people them down here?" I said, "I live here. It's either you do or you don't. If you don't cope with it, what's gonna happen? It's up to you. But if you cope with it, you just have to cope with it. And you have to dip into a your bag of arsenal to really live your life out here stress free." I said, "Why would you ask me?" So he asked me, "How do I live in Antigua and cope with the pressures that's business wise, socially, economically, everything around. He asked me how I cope with it. I said, I'm a survivor, so no matter where you put me, I will survive. He didn't understand that. So I said, what happened? Why you asked? He said, well, I went because I was living in England for so long. He was from Barbuda. Because I was living in England for so long, I really didn't remember how it was out here. I said, well, I don't understand that part. So he said to me he went inside of the administrative building to conduct some type of, business to pursue his goals in reference to getting his endeavors at a completional stage, and whatever he plans will manifest itself and materialized. He said he went inside of an administrative building to conduct some business, and he sat down. Nobody said anything to him. He waved. You know, when you go into a place, this greeting thing about saying good morning, you don't have to address the world like that. You could just wave. You don't have to talk. You could just go straight to your business. When I'm taking care of priorities, I go straight to what I'm doing. I don't hesitate, circumnavigate, detour. I don't reroute. I'm just a frank person and get it done, and let's move on to the next subject. He said nobody acknowledged him. I said, so what happened? He said I was sitting there because he talked British. He said I was sitting there and nobody, I said hi, nobody acknowledged me. He said all the girls them walking past him that works in the office, this is what he's witnessing. This is what he's experiencing. And he said they're going back and forth, the secretary's there. And he said, suddenly he just got up and asked, excuse me, any of you guys working here? That's when the secretary said, okay, how can we help you? That's when she actually adjusted. As soon as he came into the door, as soon as he accosted the door, once the door was opened, they should have presented like, hello, good morning. Is there anything we can assist you with? No. He said they was acting real snotty towards him and everything. But what happened, he was bringing a lot of materialistic stuff from England. A couple of cars, a couple of containers filled with a lot of stuff to furnish his home and set up, a living environment for him to have his tranquil moments in, which is his residency, his cocoon. Good Lord. And he said when he started processing the paperwork, because he's trying to apply for duty free, whereas he finished applying for the duty free, he had to go there to finish some paperwork. But I guess he did the process over there in Europe. So after he flew out here, as he was explaining to me, I'm narrating it to you as he was, letting me, giving me privy to what was going on in the situation. He said when they realized the amount of stuff he was bringing back in Antigua, the amount of containers and cars and this and that, he said they all became friendly immediately. I said to him, this is the beautiful 268. I don't criticize unless I'm trying to make a change. I'm not trying to. I come at you indirectly. Then I don't come at you directly. I use figurative languages, figurative behavior for you to know. And you, as an adult, you should be aware whether or not you're at a depreciative segment in your life where the decisions that's made should be observed and should be considered a great blunder on your behalf because you're out of control out here. Thankfully, I can survive an onslaught of insults, complications, turbulence, exposure to hazard. I'm a cope. I could cope. I'm copable. So the significance of this vlog is to explain to you how dangerous it is in Antigua. It's the 268. So he's getting himself polished into the island. He's feeling the vibe. Every time I see him, he say to me, "Something is wrong." So I kept asking him, "What's wrong?" He said, "Something is over here that's wrong." I say, "You just now figured it out." Good Lord. After you had conducted a process of investigating what's eventually leading to you feeling the way that you possibly do. Good Lord. He went through so much fucking turbulence, right? In Antigua. You know that boy died from a heart attack. He kept telling me something is wrong. I'm not saying Antigua gave him, I'm not diagnosing that Antigua manufactured a heart for him for the once living subject. But the levels of stress that's built up over a lengthy duration is enough to wreak havoc on your living existence. Antigua is insane. And I know a lot of people think I'm insane. You have a right to think I'm insane. Because if I go into an area and I see a motherfucker with a wig, I'll be like, yo, what's up with him? I'm not going to ask you that in my mind. I'm like, yo, what's up with this nigga, yo? He got a wig on. What type of shit you on? That's what I would have been like. So I would expect for you to think of me as insane. But my vision of insanity, my definition after an evaluative and a lengthy observation and probing into the do's and the don'ts of whatever society consists of for me to live a quite normal life. Thank you. I came to a conclusion. The verdict is in. Thank you. But before I do address the verdict for this particular objective with disclosing this valuable information and to help you process, to help you view, have insights on what I'm trying to reveal to you, is that over here is insane, man. The older generation insane. The younger generations are insane. The in-betweens are insane. The women are insane. The men are insane. Even the animals are insane. The dog, you walk down the road and a dog will bite you. And the neighbor that owns the dog will be laughing. They think that's funny. If you come back with something nice and long, leave the whole environment like a volcanic soil. Just leave raw ashes in the round from the flamer. They'll understand it ain't no fucking joke. People don't understand. So what I'm trying to really project to you is that when you're living in the 268 or you're visiting, anywhere in the world rather, but particularly here, it's not a violent place to point somebody gonna walk up and hurt you or rob you. Not really like that, even though it do happen occasionally compared to other places. It happen a little bit. If you just simply compare over here to St. Kitts, you think St. Kitts was the devil's anus, the amount of shit that's going down over there. If you go to Trinidad, you swear you live in the gut of the beast. So really and truly, the man died from a heart attack. He couldn't cope with the pressures. He never knew life was that complicated. He said, fuck, I can't get nothing done, old chop. And I'm like, You know, I don't really speak British, but I'm just trying to say it like it. He say old chop. He said he can't get nothing done over here. Simple things that should take a few minutes take weeks. Simple things that should take hours take months. Simple things that should take weeks takes years. That alone gave him a onset, quick depreciation. Subject loses. So now, let me in conclusion, I would like to come to a finality and my overall investigation and analyzation of the situation with being here in the 268. Good Lord. We're living in a mental home. The entire island is a mental facility. Keep the information discreet. If you want to know who the information is going to tell them you haven't seen the individual that reported the information to the general mass, giving them an opportunity to take an evaluative views on what I'm really bringing to your attention. Look, I gotta go. I just want to say something before I go. You think I know what you're doing out here? You gotta know who to talk to, who to interact with. You gotta know what to say, how to say it. And if you're a criminal, I'm sorry for you. Police is gonna lock you up. They're gonna lock you up. If you're a criminal, you're gonna go to jail. Thank you.